Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, Shield Hero, why you bringing all these people out here? I want to absolutely destroy, man. Why? Why do it? Um, Me being an avid watcher of the show and really trying to enjoy all of it, when they bring out characters that truly just feel like they're doing it just to make me mad, I absolutely love seeing those types of characters get their justice. Um, and it seems like justice is coming for a character that we really had no idea about until this week's episode, and kind of getting more of the understanding of just how one of my favorite main characters got in the situation that she was in the first place, being a slave for the nobles, pretty much, or just for anybody who's willing to pay. Um, we learn relatively quickly that she had a friend in this place, and it was probably somebody that she was trying to help hold on to, fate and stuff like that, make sure she wasn't just absolutely giving up like everybody probably wanted her to, and it seems like she couldn't really do anything to actually save her friend. And just by the little bits of what we learn from this story, just from the little pieces and clips that we get from her backstory. Sorry for it, I hit the mic just there. Um, it seems like it's pretty rough. Like, not only did she have someone she kind of had a friendship with, or she probably grew up with her, because I mean, it was just a world of, it was just a spot of demi-humans, like a whole demi-human village was here living seemingly peacefully, and here comes these guys doing whatever they want to do to stop that. So, I don't know. It felt like that was the case, and, they just happened to be people that they wanted out of the way or something along those lines, including since as soon as the wave attacks, or I'm pretty sure she said the wave like came because we did see like the two-headed dogs and stuff like that. So it's weird to me to think that uh after that happened, supposedly, like the actual foot soldiers came through and were the actual problems, like they came in and actually fought and started to take people out, which we saw that the guy that we see this week may not be, he may not be the king or whatever, but somehow he had the same troops as the king and as the daughter, as his princesses. So why does this guy who supposedly also got in a fight with the king, from what we learned from Melly, supposedly they have fought in before, and what? Why did they fight? Did they fight over the queen? Um, Not to mention the king was pretty down on himself about his family being like hurt again or suffering again. Like, why does his family have to suffer yet again, type of deal. So I don't know, it feels like there's a lot they're trying to put out there for the king and maybe save his character, but I think it's kind of late for that, right? Like, I mean, they can say whatever they want about the whole, oh yeah, it wasn't my plan to ever hurt my daughter, but the way he's been going about treating the shield hero speaks for itself, in my opinion. So with that being said, we get to see him in a little bit of a position where he needs to kind of beg and hope that things work out in a good way compared to what they have been as of lately. So I don't know. It's not right to be like happy that someone's suffering, but when you're a person that was trying to make other people suffer, I think it's pretty fair. Like, you were going to do the same to others, and now that it's happening to you, you expect others to feel bad about it? Like, no, bro. It's not how any of this works. Um, But yeah, overall, I think this show shows us so much about the background that we could be necessarily like jumping into that it feels good to know that another one of the main characters that we've been with, and all these characters that we've been with for a while now, we haven't really heard anything of their background, their actual overall narrative of why they maybe were in. For instance, both of these people that he has on his team are slaves, and we know nothing of how they actually wound up there. As much as we know, as much as a slave owner who sold or slave merchant told us, or as much as they remember at the time or are willing to tell at the time. One of them was in an egg, so she didn't even know what was going on in her surroundings. So where did the guy get the egg, and when the egg hatched, why was it something that he could make as a slave? These are the types of things that make me question what happened to get to these spots, what happened to make these things even possible. And I think that's what we're starting to get now, and that's awesome because not only have we been staying away from like doing wave after wave after wave, like we've only done two waves and what we're on episode 14, and the whole show is supposedly based on the heroes stopping these waves so they can get home. And that's like the last thing they're doing because there's so much actual stuff they can do in this show. And that's what I like about overall animes that know what audience could particularly want, and that is a fleshed out world. And I definitely been saying this enough, so if you haven't heard this from me, go check out my previous videos where I talk about this show. This world is so fleshed out and doing well that anything they start doing for the characters at any time is going to really excel the story that much further, in my opinion. Like, now that we know that this world has all these crazy things that can occur at any time, we also have these characters that we want nothing but the best uh, outcomes for. So keep all that in mind while we are watching some of them be faced with their literal demons and their actual, people that did them wrong, or just maybe even their families and places they could stay instead of going back to where they were. It's this new it's this notion that no matter what keeps happening around the shield hero, it's supposed to always be bad. It's supposed to always be anguish and painful, but somehow he's still making the best out of these situations by getting to meet, the girl, for instance, and or Melly, and find out that maybe not all the nobles are pieces of crap. And if she was one of the nobles that started to actually stand up for everybody, the world might not be as bad, or as hard to withstand for some people who don't even have anything and they're supposed to act like they have everything. So, I don't know. It's a very, very strange, powerful episode because not only is the Shield Hero acknowledging all of these things that our strongest sword is going through, but he's also allowing her to do it herself. Like he said, he's uh, he wants to let them grow, and become whoever they're going to become. But at the same time, he needs them just as almost as much as they need him because of the wave and him not really having a weapon that's physically damaging. But I mean, can we really say that now that we've seen him fighting time and time again and doing even more damage or doing more of the fighting than a spear, arrows, or sword? Like there's got to be a time where now he's got to think that with his power that he has, he should be able to do a lot more, right? He should be able to do a lot better than what he expected he was capable of. So I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on why his character seems uh, so like so open to what is going on because he just knows how it feels. He knows how having all this stuff blow up in your face and not really being able to fight back and do anything about it. He knows how that feels better than probably anyone. So I think this is one of our best ways that we're gonna see the Shield hero just straight up giving uh, kind of his true feelings in a sense to these girls in the sense of just like whatever you went through and whatever you're gonna go through, you can face it, you know, if you really want to. And that's exactly what you know, she wanted. She didn't want to be left behind to sit and wallow when she could literally go out and actually face her true fears. So that's kind of what we got this week. And not only is it like really cool to see the show doing all this, I'm telling you guys, I really hope this is like noted for other shows to pick up more episodes. If you are going to want to make a series really great and really feel like it's a place that people can get lost in, give it enough time to actually have that effect and not uh, flush out everything like you should. Unless you have 12 episodes and then right after those 12 episodes are done, you're coming back within like the next 4 or 5 months to do a part two, then okay, that's cool. But when we have all these long waits and people might not have gotten into the show as much as you wanted them to, not to mention um, people who actually got into the show are trying to get them in and they don't want to just because the show's slow or something along those lines. At least they have the information knowing that sooner or later there's another season coming out, so you really do want to keep up with all this. That's just my thought process behind how all this stuff starts to stand out and along the lines of just why not do more episodes when it could help your overall fan base or it could help your overall money that you earn. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get this. Dang it. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I would love to hear you guys' opinions. Did you love this episode of Shield Hero? Getting some more info on the background of our sword, and not to mention just maybe seeing her get some revenge that she's always wanted, or not getting the revenge and finding out that showing that you're better and stronger than you ever been since then, and you're a better person than him by not taking his life. Uh, do you think that's just the outcome they're gonna go with, or you know, what do you think could happen? Will she really slay this man, or will he live another day? So, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, night, evening. Make sure you guys check out the videos on the channel, though, guys. So many new anime came out, and I still want to hear some from you guys' opinions on what shows are actually doing good in your opinion, or what shows you don't really care for, and what shows you actually are going to be keeping up with, just like me. So, with all that being said, I hope you have an amazing one, and I'll talk to you later. All right, peace.